good, Big Ange?
Oh man, a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff is good.
Shit, last time we had a conversation, we was I think 6 weeks out.
Yeah.
So walk us through how prep went from 6 weeks out. Did it improve? You felt better, worse?
I think physically, I definitely started to feel a little bit of the weakness. I definitely felt mentally it was tough. It started getting tougher. I think just being depleted more and more definitely made it a little harder. Definitely felt checked out. Definitely relationship stuff started getting a little worse too, just because I was so checked out in so many different ways. But a good learning lesson, very good learning lesson. Like, I'm so happy I went through this process. Win or lose, whatever, like, I'm so glad I did it, because I know now moving forward, like, the sacrifice, what it takes. And not to say that the next time, if I do the next one, like, I'll do it to the T and I'll do it better, but it definitely is nice to have the experience. So now moving forward, I know what it's like and what to expect, to some degree. And I can better prepare myself mentally for it. And physically too,
Yeah. So you hear a lot of people talk about the dreaded, the infamous peak week, right?
Yeah.
Take us through like peak week, how was it what you expected? Was it completely like the opposite of what you expected? Was it horrible, or was it actually pretty smooth?
I think it was good and bad. I think one, when your relationship's not in the right place where you want it to be, that's always going to bleed into every part of your life, work, everything,
Yeah.
So that definitely didn't help. But at one point we kind of hit like just some sort of an agreement where it's like, all right, we just did the countdown, 3 more days, 2 more days, and it was a little easier to get through. But I think mentally it was a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be, because I mean, at that point, man, I'd be texting you stuff and you'd have to explain stuff to me over and over. I remember I looked at our text, just looking at it the other day, I was like, dude, I was like rambling about certain shit, or not making sense. You'd be like, wait, what you mean? I'm like, well, like, I see this, and it's just like, and you were just like, yo, just stick to the program, we're good. Just fucking, just keep doing what you're doing,
You kind of get it in your own head.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah, definitely. And I think the nerves started kicking in during that time, because I was just like, am I ready? I don't know. Fuck, I hope so. So and I couldn't see everything you're seeing, obviously, right? So that's why you're there. So I think
now you can look back and picture them like, okay, yes, I'm on. But honestly, you get to a certain point in prep, you go blind. You don't know what the fuck you're looking at. You don't know if you're fat. You don't know if you're flat. You don't know if you're small.
And I remember just texting like, hey, for my own knowledge moving forward, like, I want to know what I'm supposed to be looking at. And even the way you explain it is like, bro, you're not gonna know. You can't know because you're in it. Like, you're not gonna see it. Like, you're just not. And you're right, you're not gonna see it. And I didn't see it. You know what I mean? I did not.
Whereas me prepping right now, you could look at me and you could be like, okay, this is in. You need to be tighter here. You could break me down because you have the experience. But when it comes to yourself, you don't. Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So that I think also I'll hear people say, hey, what are we doing next week? And I feel like it sounds like I'm evading the question, but I'm like,
I don't know.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, do I have an idea? Some people I do, especially if I worked with you before. But honestly, you being that I never worked with you, I honestly had no idea. I mean, I really didn't. I didn't know if you're when you're gonna carb up, how much water you needed. I don't know. So like with the water, I just based it off of what you were already drinking, right? Because I realized that we weren't actually like calculating it. So it's just how you look by the day, Your body was pretty consistent though, so I didn't have to do anything drastic. So some people's peak week are gonna be a lot more drastic. You didn't really have to. I mean,
which was nice.
We literally added a gallon of water a couple days and then cut out the water.
Yeah,
that was about it. Diet literally 1.5, right? I mean, it was a half 3 times.
It was mild.
Whereas some people do 3 diets.
Yeah, no, I realized it was. I had someone ask me the other day how was it towards the last couple weeks, and honestly, man, I kind of felt like I was on a red carpet, man, because we didn't have to do a whole lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We didn't have to stress out. There was nothing we were waiting for or anything. It was there.
Exactly. And honestly, I always say you should be able to step on stage without diuretics. You could have 100% stepped on stage without diuretics, and you would have been maybe 190 to 193. I think the tighter look was a better look. Honestly, you can't 100% know for sure unless you try it. But I don't think I don't think you would have been bigger enough to make a difference. You know.
No, we talked about. I think a more conditioned look was going to be the better game plan going into it. You know, and it was because I mean, look at the outcome. You know, it just
So speaking of the outcome, what was the outcome?
The outcome was for true novice, I took first overall. For masters 35 and up, took first overall, and for open bodybuilding, I took second overall.
I'm gonna pop the pictures in here so that they kind of see the lineup. Yeah, well, one of the guys you beat was working with Psycho, and he was legit. He was bigger than some of the, cause he trained sometimes with RPG. He's bigger than some pro bodybuilders. Not that he's filled out with balance like them, but if we're talking about pure side, I mean the guy he couldn't have been less than 270.
Nah, he was a big dude backstage, bro. That dude walked like no one walked in with like a presence, and this dude walked in with a presence. It felt like the Sith Lord walked in the room. He was fully black hoodied up, covered up, and you just felt like this darkness hit the room, and you're like, who the fuck is this dude?
See, but a lot of people get bamboozled by the side, and it's like it's still a muscle contest. It literally named muscle contest, but it's like. Yeah, but muscle isn't always muscle size because we're talking about muscle separation, muscle detail. So when you say muscle contest, don't for a second think it's literally who has the most muscle. Because it's almost never the physically biggest person.
Yeah.
You could be the most muscular person on stage and not be the biggest guy.
It's funny because I was telling you earlier, I was like, you know, there's a bunch of dudes backstage doing a bunch of band workouts and fucking stretching and doing all kinds of glute exercises. And that big ass dude was doing ab workouts back there. And I was chilling with Orlando. We were sitting next to each other. We were literally the only two dudes coasting back there with our feet kicked up. We're talking about our daughters and we're just hanging out. And we were relaxed, you know, we were just fucking bullshitting, you know? And it was almost like when we saw him do that, we were like, all right, this dude's working on something right now, and maybe he shouldn't, maybe he ain't ready, you know.
And as big as he was, he needed the most rest because that kind of body needs rest and needs to stay full.
Dude, he was a big boy, big dude, got a lot of potential.
Yeah, a ton. But it just goes to show you, man, it's about bringing in the best package, and conditioning is always number one. Without conditioning, you won't even get the proper look.
Yeah.
You know, everything comes after that, you know. So if you have to wrap up the whole experience, you know, how did you feel about the prep? Like, is this something you feel like you caught the bug? You feel like it's something that you need a long break from? Is something that you want to jump in right away, or you know?
I think for me, after having this experience, it's like. Man, I definitely caught the bug in so many ways. Like, I mean, just the respect I have for people that do it, amateur level, pro level, just the sport in general, man. What this takes is, man, it's a level of sacrifice that you won't know until you do it. You don't really realize the time and the effort and how much stuff gets put aside in order to be able to do this. It's a very selfish sport. That being said, like, you need a team. You need a group of people to be there with you. Coaching, training, family, you know what I mean? Like, you need all these things in place to be able to execute it properly. Because if one's not working right, it's going to affect you in your prep, you know. And I'll say the one thing for me, like, I think that the physical part of prep went well. I think the dieting part of prep went really well. I think I surprised myself in so many ways with just like the level of dedication it took to do that. But you know, the relationship definitely took a hard hit for a lot of the prep, and so now, you know, after being a few days out now, just head getting clearer and me just being in a better mindset, you know, it's just like, man, yeah, there's a lot of damage I've caused, but you know, I'm also inspired because I did so well with this. It's just like, man, if I put this kind of effort and commitment into anything in my life now, like, there's no reason why I can't succeed, you know. And so I know, like, if I put this level of commitment and focus and love and passion into my relationship, there's no reason why we can't succeed. And I don't doubt that, you know what I mean? Like, she's with me and she supported me and she's there. And so now it's just the next step, man, is just to work on that, focus on training. Let's eat and grow, you know what I mean? I will say that, like, you know, if competing's gonna happen in the future, it's gonna be down the road, because I mean, just from what the judges told me, what I got to work on is I just got to grow, you know. And I guess that can be said for everybody, you know. But I want to do it the right way. I want to do it healthy, I want to make sure I'm enjoying it too, you know. But yeah, man, I've definitely caught in the bug in so many different ways, man. The sport is beautiful, man. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I can't tell you, like, I thought you were gonna spend the night Friday night, but I'm almost happy you didn't spend the night in the hotel room Friday night, because I was just watching stuff to hype me up, man. Got the nerves out. I was able to relax and just chill and just have a time to myself and some moments where I could just kind of think and just sit with myself, man. You know what I mean? And enjoy that, you know. And even waking up that morning, man. I woke up. I set my alarm for 5:30 so I could go in there for tanning or just for touch up. I was up at 5 and I felt good. I was ready. You know what I mean? Like, I was already texting you, like ready to go. And so that whole experience was cool, man. I definitely enjoyed it. It felt good to be able to just like, I played some music and just kind of gave myself a little hype up song, and fucking was just like, man, it was fun.
I was trying to make a point of you. I wanted you to have that Friday night for yourself, because everybody's process mentally is different, but it's important to just have that little bit of alone time, because you kind of go through the whole roll of feelings, right? It's like nervous, anxious, proud, all of this shit goes on. You get hyped, you get angry, and sometimes you might have to shed a couple of tears, right? So it's like you want to be alone when you go through those emotions, because if somebody's there, you almost have to hide your emotions. You want to be able to release it. If you want to sit there and cry and yell at yourself and all this shit, you want to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? And there's going to be times where you stand there and just start fucking talking to yourself and doing all this weird shit.
I literally woke up at 5 in the morning, right? I put on my trunks just to see what I looked like. And I didn't pose, I didn't do anything, but I just looked at what I was looking at physically at that point. And I just got hyped. I was just like clapping, like, yes, like we're here, this is it. Like, I'm bringing it, you know what I mean? It felt so good, man.
Bro,
it felt so good.
There's times I'll literally do that, right? I'll look, pose, clap, let's go, and fucking start crying, and then go sit down and like take a nap or something. You gotta go through those motivations. And when there's people there, you almost have to limit your emotion, which is not, you want to be able to release it. So you want people there showing it, you know, but before that, you gotta have that moment of clarity to clear yourself out.
Yeah, man. I mean, I had a small support group after the show, you know, at the show, you know, I wanted to keep it small for my first time around, but it was really nice to see Zoe run up and yell babe and run up to me. It was great to see Christy smiling, just proud. It was dope to see my mom and how excited she was for me. And then it was dope to see my other friend Nick and Lupe and Fernie. They were just like so proud of me, you know. And then after I was done, I went to go talk up to you, man. Like, I literally felt like crying because we were sitting in the room right before finals, and I was just like, you know, I guess best case scenario, the way it mapped out on stage was like top 3, you know what I mean? And I said I'm totally happy with that, you know what I mean? I'm not even down about that, you know? Yeah. And then being on stage, bro, I don't know if anybody caught it, I don't know if maybe it's in the recording if someone caught it, but right when they placed 4th place up there, I literally was getting ready to step out to go here, because I was expecting my name to hear 3rd. And then they didn't say my name, and I like literally wanted to cry for a second. I was like, fuck. I was like, I got top 2.
Because that big guy, I mean, he was good. Like, there's no way about it. He was good. So, you know, it's something that in the back of your head, I'm sure you like, are they going to give it to me being like 80 pounds smaller? You know what I'm saying? So I know that crosses your mind.
For sure.
Like,
yeah, 100%, man. You know, at that point, too, we walked out on stage, I accepted it, and I was happy with the outcome. You know, I wasn't even like mad. You know, it's just when I didn't hear my name, I was like, fuck. And then for a second I was like, you know, I got a chance to win first, but I was like, you know what, no matter what, like top 2 at this point, like, man.
And then the top 2 also qualifies you. So I thought it was nice. But to go back to something you touched on earlier, I would say about 90% of relationships don't make it past the first prep. Like, first prep is always the hardest one, because luckily for you, you're a little older, so you have the ability to catch yourself and know, even if it's a couple days later, you're like, okay, you might be like, okay, maybe I was acting a certain way, or whatever. Most people, they don't catch themselves until prep is over. So by the time the relationship is done, literally most people I know that they enter a prep, the first prep, the relationship, and so
I mean, I'll say this about myself. I'm a pretty mellow person for the most part, you know, and I think. This has taught me during prep that, like, because I'm usually someone, like, if we're having a discussion or we're talking about something, if I don't respond, it's not because I don't have anything to say, it's just because I process, right? I like to process a little slower and understand, you know? And during prep, I definitely didn't practice that, which is what I normally do, you know? So it's definitely like firing from the gun a lot of times when I shouldn't have, you know? And it's definitely an eye opener because it's like, fuck, that's not who I am as a person, you know what I mean? Like, that's not how I like to conduct myself in a relationship, you know? And so that's why, like, I think, like, a lot of good and bad came out of it. Like, I feel like I'm not down on myself, but there's definitely, like, some things I noticed about myself where I'm like, man, I can't be like that. Like, I don't want to be a partner for somebody like that moving forward, you know?
Prep always seems to be harder on the woman, regardless of who's prepping. Right? One thing I think I've kind of figured it out, right? Men and women both need each other in different capacities. For us, it's more like comfort, home. But for women, a lot of it is security and safety.
Yeah.
So if the one that's supposed to make you feel safe makes you feel unsafe, because not like you're gonna beat them up or anything, right? But if you're the safety net and you're like short leash and like, you know, on the edge, they don't feel safe.
Yeah.
So when they don't feel safe, they freak the fuck out.
Right.
So that happens to women very often when they're men prep. They lose their feeling of safety, so they don't really know how to respond to that. And that happened to me in the past with my girl. The more, once they figure out how you process prep, they get used to it. They're like, okay, this is just how he gets. It's not personal. He doesn't hate me, you know. And they
Yeah.
the first time, they definitely freak out quite a bit.
I will say this, like, it's like, I definitely was a different person during prep, you know what I mean? I'd have my moments where I wouldn't say checked in, but I'd be a little more clear-minded than most days, right?
It's up and down.
Yeah, and then I have my days where I'm just like, not, you know, and those are the days when you're not, when you're just like, you really gotta try to dig deep and really sit back.
Yeah.
Because it's like, those are the days where like, it could all end and it's all over, you know?
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you're talking about packing your bags, you know? It's not easy to do, but I think experience helps, but I also think like now, like, because if I do decide to do another one, I'll be more conscious of that. So I will be seeking help to kind of prep me for that now. You know what I mean? Like, I already do therapy, but I'm definitely, if I decide to do it again, I'm gonna double up on some therapy. Yeah. So that way, like, you know what I mean? Like, I got some fucking money in the bank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
it's very hard for men to do therapy because we know we need it. We just not comfortable with opening it up that way. But that's why we need therapy, because we don't want to open it. Like, we just don't want to do it because it's uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? So
especially in a sport like this where it's so ego driven, you know what I mean? There's so much ego involved, right? Like, the last thing you want to do is have someone peel the onion back and expose something where you're in the middle of like this, you're preparing for fucking this physical journey. That's gonna make you feel great on stage, and you're gonna get your ego fed, and everything's gonna be coming, shaking your hand. You did so well, and blah 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 blah. And then for someone to nitpick like your inner child during this process is like, yo, you don't want that.
You don't want it. And then for me, my process, especially when my girl is away, like right now, right, I like to tap into almost into the bad side. I like to be like an animal because it makes me, when I feel less human, it makes it easier for me. Because I'm like, I don't need shit. I don't need love. I don't need compassion. Yeah. I don't need sweets. I don't need junk food. Sure. I don't need shit. I'm a fucking animal. And I feed into that, but that's not good because my girl's actually coming back this Saturday, and I'm like, holy fuck, I'm a fucking animal. I'm living in a dirty apartment. I don't even hire to clean. I'm like, fuck cleaners. You know, so it's like, now she come back and I'm like, okay, do I have to become a human being again, or is she gonna be okay with me being
I just thought about this. It's ironic that if you're fully checked into prep, right, you're not, like, you're hitting your meals, you're dieting properly, you're doing all your cardio to the T, you're training fucking your ass off. It's like, it's crazy how it puts you in that mindset where it's just like nothing else matters. Fuck everybody else, right? Right? Like you were in, like, you know someone's in the zone when you hear that, right? Like, but that's also a scary place. You're like, damn, you're so checked out right now, doing this so well that I can't imagine what your other shit in your life looks like right now.
That's also why it scares your partner, because they're like, holy fuck, this dude lost it. But to be honest, some people could just be like a family man and do like that. He can just be barbecue. But we can't all do that, bro. Some of us we have to get dark. You know what I'm saying? I remember Kevin Lavoni said he would sleep on the floor. And I'm like, I kind of understand it, because you feel like you don't want to feel civilized, because civilized, you feel like it's weakness. If I'm civilized, then I can't handle this shit. You almost want to feel crazy, like, fuck it, I don't need shit, you know?
It's funny, I remember watching the Michael Jordan documentary, again, like right at the beginning of prep, and how he would mentally like make up scenarios in his head about other players saying shit, just to get him hyped, you know? And I think for a little while, I was definitely doing that at the beginning of prep, because I was like, I'm not ready for this, I'm not good enough for this, I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna look like shit. And that's what I deserve, you know what I mean? And it literally was just like what sparked it. I was like, nah, I'm not trying to look like shit. I'm not trying to look stupid. I'm not trying to fucking waste my time doing this. Like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it to the fucking T.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, in previous preps, I would like tag, you know, bodybuilding without border. I would tag my coach and look at me, I'm doing good. And this time around, it's like, I don't give a fuck what you think. I'm just doing it. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of like that feeling, but it's a whole different mindset. Like, I don't give a fuck what nobody thinks. I don't want to hear I look good. Fuck, I look good.
Yeah, man, nah.
You look good. Get the fuck out.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I had a lot of people telling me, man, like, you look ready, you look good, and tell me like, why don't you go sooner and do all that? And I'm like, and I would tell you that people would tell me these things, you know. I'm like, I get your opinion, you know what I mean? Like, I appreciate it, but like, I literally was just like, I'm not listening, bro.
Exactly.
Like, telling me to do something with my water a week out, like, yeah, bro, I ain't gonna listen to you. Like, I appreciate the info, but I got somebody for this shit. You know, I just didn't care. I did not fucking care.
And they've never seen anybody look like that in the 6 feet south. That's the fucking point. I don't want you to look like everybody else. Right? I want you to look like wow, because you wouldn't have beat that big dude if you were just in normal condition. You had to be inside out, you know, to beat. So the point that 6 feet out, most people are like, just stay right there, you know. Yeah. And we didn't push super hard after that, but I didn't let up off of you. I still made sure you know. You got, be beyond that point, but yeah, man. So, end of the day, hopefully it was a good experience for you, and hopefully it wasn't too crazy. But you did good, man. I mean, I'm proud of you. Everybody's proud of you. I don't know, you don't be on social media, they don't get to tell you directly, but I mean, Tony comments on my stuff. I mean, everybody is leaving comments. People are viewing your shit, they're liking it. You know, pros are liking it. Everybody can respect that. So. Even if they haven't reached out to you, they reached out to me through you, and just to let you know.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate all the love I've gotten from everybody, man. It's been really nice, and all the support I've gotten. It's even more gratifying just to know I have a lot of people behind me, and even people that weren't there didn't even know that my show day was happening, but they found out some way and just checking up and texting me. It's been the last few days have been really cool because I've been able to soak up all that now, you know. Where I don't know. People tell me along the way, now that I brushed it off, but I just really didn't pay attention too much, you know?
Yeah.
And so now it's been really nice to soak it all in now, and it's kind of been the cherry on top, you know? And so, yeah, man, it's funny, man, I wish I could have said like some thank yous or some shit, you know what I mean? Because it's like, I don't know, something, man. There's so many people I gotta say thank you to, but I don't know, man, I'm super grateful for everybody in my life right now. Clients, family, you name it, you know? I mean, Chrissy, I love you. Thank you for everything. I'm not gonna list everything. It's gonna be a while, but thank you for everything.
It's tough.
I thank you just for helping me throughout this entire process, man. Like just everything we've done together these last 14 or 16 weeks. It's crazy, man. I didn't know I was capable of doing it. You know what I mean? And a lot of self-doubt to start, but I'm so glad you stuck with me and you pushed me and you fucking guided me in the right way, man. Cause I couldn't do it without you. You know, there's a lot of there's a lot of people I miss working out with. I miss the old Avenger crew, man. Bernie and Luca, we had some fun times together. But God, there's so many people that have just like helped me out through this journey that like I didn't even. Zayd with my posing, you know. I mean, just so many people were involved, man. This whole process, dude. It's crazy. Like just from the little conversations of just just helping me out or whatever, you know what I mean? Just listening, you know. Yeah. No, fuck, man. I needed it. I needed it all. And and so I'm super grateful.
Zayd had a way of complimenting you without making your head too big.
yeah, he's good at that. Yeah, he keeps it real. I definitely appreciate. He's got a great mind for this. A
very good outlook on his face.
Yes, yeah, really does. So yeah, man. But I love you, bro. Thank you for everything. Seriously.
Love you too, man. What's next for Big Ange?
Shit.
You haven't thought that far yet?
Not yet, man. Right now, the main goal is just eat and train.
Get big as fuck.
Yeah, just trying to get big, man. I don't know what that number looks like yet, but we're just gonna eat and train, and we'll just see what happens after that.
Yeah, there you go. All right, man. Keep it up, bro. Good shit.
Yes, sir.